Hi, I'm Logan Newman from Newman Specials Woodwork. Thanks for ordering my portable plywood router table from We CNC That. I really appreciate it. I love my router table. I designed it to be useful, obviously, in the shop. I can put it on the corner of my bench, and when I'm done with it, hang it back up and get it out of the way and save some valuable space. With your router table, you should have gotten the router table. You should have gotten a universal base plate and the pieces for the fence. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Let's talk first about the router table. The universal base probably has a piece of plastic on it. Go ahead and peel that off. Depending on which version you got, you might have holes in the corners or you may not. In order to hold this in place, you're going to need holes. Now that's actually really easy to do. Just locate the corners, drill down through. Once you've drilled through the corners on the spot marked on the router table, take a countersink bit and drill those holes so that your screws will be countersunk when you apply them. Now, for this piece, you're going to have to attach it to your router. So you're going to take off your base off your trim router. Make sure you keep your screws where you can find them. And find the holes that line up to the middle of your universal base plate. Now, you might have to turn it a few times to find the right orientation. And once you find that orientation, securely attach your universal base to the router. You may need to drill a few holes to make sure that it fits. Simply put the plug through. And once you have this attached in the orientation you want, use 4 screws and attach it in the corners. Once you're done, you can put that aside or you can use it the way it is. It's all ready to go. Use either the micro jig clamps to clamp it to a tabletop or use a track saw clamps, which I like to use. Now let's move on to the fence. The fence should have come with 2 corner clamps, 45 degrees, a U-shaped piece and a round piece. This is your hose clamp. These holes are supposed to be mismatched so that the piece does not line all the way up to the fence. This is the bottom of the fence and the front of the fence. Notice that there are grooves cut already, and this is a space for your router bit. You're going to use glue if you want, you don't have to, and screws to put this together. The first piece is going to be to take the base and the fence. I'm going to put just a small amount of glue right in there. Maybe. This piece fits together. Make sure that the groove matches the groove here. You want those pieces to match together. I'm going to clamp this together. Do not cover up the screw hole in the front. Obviously, if you do that, then you can't screw that in. I should have 2 clamps. There you go. 2 clamps. Nice and easy. Okay. For this piece, you're going to use the number 6 1.5 inch screw. If you want, you can pre-drill a hole. I'm going to use the 5/64 inch bit to pre-drill. And I'm just doing that to make sure I have less likelihood of any plywood splitting. Now, these holes are all countersunk already, so the screw head should go flush to or below the wood. Obviously, you want the screw head to be sunk below the wood so it doesn't interact with any wood on your projects. Now you can unclamp those. We want to use our 45-degree pieces, and they're going to sit right in the grooves. Again, I'm going to start off with a clamp here. I'm going to clamp front to back so I can make sure that I have a good 90-degree angle here. And just make sure that you are tight on the sides. You don't want to have any gaps here. So I'm just going to go get a smaller clamp. Maybe I'll just try and use this. I like that a lot. For this piece, you are going to use the number 8 1.5 screws. I need to adjust this because I couldn't screw quite all the way I wanted to go. And now that that's done, let's attach the ones on the bottom. I'm going to clamp down again. So at this point, you have the fence, the front of the fence, and the base constructed. This should have a 90-degree angle. Now we're going to attach the U shape. Notice that there are 4 holes. It's going to straddle the hole and attach to the fence. And again, if you want, you can use glue or not. I'm going to skip the glue for this piece. There are 4 holes here, so I'm going to use the number 8 1.25 screws. Okay, so you see how that attaches. There's no gap here, or there's nothing here to block the gap. And now we're going to attach the last piece, which is for the actual hose. So you're just going to line that up beside the other piece. And this will take 2 of the 1.25 screws. You can see how there's an overlap here. That allows the hose to stick in without going all the way to the front, and allows you to have a strong vacuum. So let's go over to the shop. Okay, using your router table is easy. You just put that up to your table wherever you want to go, your bench. Now, the way this is set up is you can use either the match fit clamps to hold it down or the track saw clamps. Clamp it in place. And you have a stable positioning. Now, I made this so that you could put it on either corner of your table, anywhere you want to locate it. If you want to clamp just the 2 back ones, you can do that as well. I like to do 1 back and 1 front to give me a little bit more support. The micro jig match fit dovetail system is great to use for this, because these clamps, then when you put your fence on, clamp to itself and give you a nice flat reference area. You'll also notice that this is 90 degrees to the plate, so whatever you're working on will be straight. Whenever you do use this, make sure that your fence is lined up over the hole so that the vacuum works. And the vacuum just plugs into the back. And you're able to use this to route materials however you want. It also works without the fence. In whichever direction you decide. Once you're done, it can be hung up on the wall